What's up, guys? It's Zin. It's been a while since I've vlogged, but I feel like every time I look back on my vlogs, I never regret it because it just brings back so many good memories, and I'm always like, I'm so glad I vlogged that occasion or have it on camera. But right now I'm basically packing for a trip back to Philly. So I grew up in Philly my entire life before I went to medical school, and then now I'm in my first year of residency. So we call it intern year. I'm at a transitional year program. You can be at like a prelim IM or a prelim like internal medicine or a prelim surgery program, or you can be at a transitional year program before you start your advanced program. Me and my partner, we couples matched and we got into the same transitional year program, and then we're both moving to the same place for our advanced program. So we got really lucky in the match. But because of that, I've been in this transitional year program at an East Coast city, and I thought I would be able to visit Philly a lot more, but because of the residency schedule, it was kind of a new program. We didn't get our schedule till later, and then working out all the vacation things, all the vacation days we needed to use to actually move to our advanced program, that plus just the busyness of residency in general, I didn't really have a chance to go back home like I thought I would. And then a couple weeks ago, my program coordinator emailed me and said like, hey Zin, you still have a couple of PTO days left if you want to use them. And then it aligns perfectly with like a weekend. So the weekend plus a couple days, I basically get to spend a long weekend hanging out with my family. A lot has happened since I last vlogged. Transitional year or intern year has had its own challenges. It's been really tough sometimes, especially on certain weeks where you would have busy rotations. But I'm really excited to go back home because I haven't been home to Philly since fall of 2024. So a little backstory. When I started medical school, I went back home a lot in the beginning. And then, as medical school gets more busy, as you kind of build a new life for yourself and everything, you just go back a little bit less. So I went back a little bit less and less. And then fourth year of med school, I did a couple away rotations in Philadelphia. So away rotations or externships or audition rotations are rotations you do at programs that you might want to go to for residency. So because of that, I got to spend 2 months in Philadelphia as a fourth year med student. I got to spend and catch up with my family for a long time, which was really much needed and really great. But then after that, fourth year gets really busy. You're doing interviews, you're doing a bunch of fourth year stuff. And then of course you have match day and graduation and everything. And my parents and my brother came down for graduation, which was great. But yeah, I haven't been back to Philly since those away rotations. I haven't seen my brother since med school graduation, which was, I guess, 11 months ago now, which is crazy to think about. But my parents did come and visit our intern year city about 8 months ago. So I did see them kind of recently, which is crazy because now as a doctor in training or in residency, you're like, oh, I just saw them 8 months ago. It doesn't feel like that long ago because time comes by so fast. But yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's like, it was a long time ago, but I'm really excited to see them. Me and my mom had planned a bunch of places for us to eat and things like that. So basically in Philly, I'm just gonna be relaxing and eating a whole bunch of food. 2 weeks after I come back, I'll be technically graduating from my transitional year program. After graduation, I still have a couple weeks of medicine boards left. But then after that, it's just like all moving, and then we get to relax a little bit before we start our advanced program. That's a whole lot of yap, but I have the day off today, and I'm gonna just finish packing for the day. I don't think I have too much else going on. Yeah, I think I have a pretty chill day. And then I have clinic in the morning tomorrow. I thought I would just vlog the occasions. Okay, so the hair is tied up. I have this pretty bad habit of overpacking, and of course I'll be overpacking because I'm bringing back a bunch of clothes that I'm not wearing much anymore. But in terms of outfits, I think I did good because I only bought like 2 cute tops. I'm only gonna be there for like 3 or 4 days, but just in case I feel fancy or something. Then if I get bored, there's a church in a high school that I like to kind of jog around. So I did just bring like, a athletic pair of pants and also just some biker shorts and some socks as well. Usually I just bring a pair of flats as well, and then I wear sneakers to the airport. But I think I'm all set for just a couple of days, including all the clothes I already have at home. This is the unglamorous part that people don't really show you in regards to having two residents living together in their intern year, it can get really busy. So, chores can pile up, especially if one of us is on a really, really busy rotation, such as wards, ICU, night float. On those weeks, we can work easily from like 70 to 80 hours a week, and then the other person kind of has to pick up the slack. Thank goodness, usually we're not on those at the same time, so the other person is usually able to do more chores, is able to cook more. But because I'm off today, there are definitely a lot of chores I can do around the house today, including laundry, cleaning, putting away some of the dishes, and yeah, just all the fun stuff. It is kind of difficult in general to be motivated to clean and everything when you know you're only in this place for a year. We haven't done much stuff in terms of house renovations either because we know it's so short term. It's hard to get into a routine of things as well. But at least today will be a little bit productive just because I have so many chores I have to do. All that to say, it is really nice to have a partner who kind of knows exactly what you're going through because they're in the exact same shoes. And I think we did a really good job kind of supporting each other this year, even if it means the laundry sometimes piles up. There are small things you can do to make sure there's less arguments and that your life just goes a little more seamlessly. For example, I have enough scrubs that I don't have to do laundry for over a week. Let's talk about intern year, because I feel like I went through intern year in a way that I didn't burn out and I felt pretty happy with the way things went. I would say intern year is tough. It's a transition in your life. Just with any transition in your life, if you're going through anything like that, I think these tips will also be applicable. The first thing is you have to change your tolerance threshold for a lot of different things. I worked jobs before medical school, so I was pretty used to, the whole professional vibe, certain types of red tape, things like you just have to do things by the book sometimes and you have to get yelled at for things that aren't your fault. Like, I have a pretty high tolerance for things like that, but just know it's a different world. You're actually going to be working, you're going to be responsible for patients. I thought it was a little crazy the amount of responsibility I got in the beginning, but that comes with being a doctor. I would say the responsibility level from you as a medical student who has like zero responsibility for anything to like a resident where you're the go-to person that all the nurses, staff, everybody will go to first in terms of what to do for the patient, what the patient is allowed to do, what procedures they're supposed to be planned for, and basically just the general plan of the patient all kind of comes down to you. Like, yes, you'll have an attending, yes, you might have senior residents, but at the end of the day, you're the point of contact, you're the go-to person for all of these questions, and you have to know. So you have to kind of build your professional tolerance one way or another. You might get like imposter syndrome, but you have to just know that you're there for a reason. Because then the other thing is tolerance for things around the home. Whether you have a partner or not, you have a tolerance for the amount of cleanliness things have to be and the amount of put together you are, right? So I was the type of medical student, like my home was always spotless. I always had people over. I would always host things, and that was kind of my standard in medical school. But of course, I had more time in medical school, especially first, second, and fourth year. Now, when it came to residency, living with another resident who was also doing their intern year, I had my expectations and standards pretty low for the amount of cleanliness in my home. Of course, everything in my home is clean, but in terms of organization, things are kind of all over the place. And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm okay with the laundry piling up if I knew the laundry was clean. I'm okay with dishes not being put back if I knew the dishes were clean. And like I said, it's also hard to kind of build a routine when you know you're only going to be in a place for a year. We did our best, but even if I had days off, sometimes I would rather just rest and recover rather than clean the house. And that's okay if you have a partner that can do that or help out with that. I have friends who are just hiring cleaning services. Like they pay like maybe $100 every 3 months to have their house deep cleaned. And, that works for them. They have the money for it. They have the resources for it. So good for them. I would say just give yourself some grace and some leniency. You don't have to be perfect, especially in this time of your life, which is probably one of the hardest transitions that people make in their medical career. So professional tolerance, home tolerance, and I guess the third thing is kind of your health tolerance, what you are willing to accept in terms of your health declining your intern year. So this includes physical and mental health, right? I'm someone who prioritizes kind of mental health. Physical health, I need to be better about. I mean, I'll still try to go to the gym, but it's really hard when I'm on like boards, ICU, night flow. Like during the really, really tough weeks, I almost never go to the gym and I almost never cook. So either my partner cooks or I'll do things like girl dinners where I don't actually have to cook anything. Or we'll do takeout or microwave meals. And the way I'm able to justify those busy shifts in terms of not going to the gym is like those shifts have so much walking. You got to go see the patient. You got to go around on the patient. Sometimes you're standing for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. So I feel kind of okay about not going to the gym. And I also know it's a means to an end because I know when those rotations will end, right? Sometimes they're only 1 week, sometimes they're only 3 weeks, sometimes they're only 4 weeks. And then it takes me a little while to get back into a schedule. But it doesn't mean I'm inactive all year. It's just knowing that during those specific rotations, I can be a little bit easier on myself in terms of those things. In terms of mental health, I do things that I think would bring me the most happiness for a given amount of effort or resource. So if I think a day off, not doing chores, not doing anything is going to be better for my mental health, I don't do that all the time, but yeah, I would rather take that than a day where I'm like stressing over everything and then I don't actually have time to relax. Another thing is like I'm already hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and this is not good financial advice, but if like a $5 cup of coffee brings you a lot of happiness and joy, like just do it. Like it's okay. Like you don't have to be so hard on yourself for like something that's $5. You know, I grew up really poor, so we always had this mindset like, oh, you always have to save money, but it's like not at the expense of your well-being. For example, I'm a big foodie, my partner's a big foodie, like we would spend money to go to like a nice restaurant every couple of months. Like we go out and eat more than that, but you know what I mean? Like if it's a really nice, lavish restaurant, it's like the best restaurant in town, like we're not going to lose a lot of sleep over the fact that we get to enjoy this without feeling guilty about it. Because food is something that brings us both a lot of happiness. We all have different things in our lives that bring us happiness, and it's okay to spend your time, effort, or money on those things. You have to be sane during residency. I don't think anything is worth having like a mental health crisis. If the way you recharge is to play video games for like 24 hours straight, like all the power to you, like do that, relax. You have to get back to the hospital the next day. Do what's gonna keep your cup full, keep you happy, and keep you able to take care of patients. You have to be able to take care of yourself first. And in terms of mental well-being, you also have to have time to either talk to your friends, see your friends, your family, build those kind of social connections because you will need it. Like you should not go through intern year alone. My mom was always a call away. She is always willing to pick up my phone calls, hear me rant, even if it's about the same thing for the 100th time. I usually have to schedule FaceTimes with all my besties because a lot of them did graduate from medical school or they're living their own lives, they're busy people. And it's hard to coordinate with a bunch of people who are also intern year, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Another thing I did that made my intern year so much better, and this is so against the grain of advice that is usually given, and that is I took step 3 really early in my intern year. So people are always telling you to like, oh, take step 3 later in your intern year when you're more settled. I took my step 3 in August when all the medical school knowledge was still kind of a little bit fresh, and I was able to study so I would have the knowledge for the entire intern year. And having all that knowledge, especially in the beginning, really gives you a good basis for all of the treatments, all of the patients you're going to see. So that was incredibly helpful for me because I never felt like in terms of knowledge I was lagging behind. I think the attendings were really happy with my knowledge base in the beginning of the year as well. After I took step 3, I felt like not that my entire year was a vacation, but everything was just easier. I felt pretty well prepared for all of my rotations. Of course, I didn't know everything and I was still learning a lot, but I think it was way better for me and I felt a lot better about going into patient interactions, assessments, and plans. But yeah, I just studied really hard in the beginning. I had some tough months. I think July or beginning of August I had ICU, and it was tough having ICU and studying for STEP at the same time. But you know, like your body, your mind will kind of do whatever it needs to take as long as you have set that goal for yourself. And I think as a result, intern year was just a lot better because of it. Let me go back to cleaning. I have like so much cleaning to do. This is our front. I have to deal with this first, so. And ta-da! So this is kind of cleaner now. Next, I have to clean our living room because we can't just throw everything on the coffee table. Like, there's 3 laptops here. 2 of them are work laptops. One is the personal laptop that we use a lot for work. And then, you know, my headphones are there. We have candy there. The blankets are kind of all over the place. We have, like, a textbook there that's kind of open. The console table is, like, kind of getting out of hand. My little boo-boos look good, though. And then, of course, we have, like, a bunch of packing boxes, and I got Amazon packages yesterday I got to take care of. So the place is a little bit messy. So let's take care of that. And that's good enough for now, I think. We're moving in a month, so it's not too big a difference. So I got rid of those Amazon packages too, and it'll just be like this, which is nice and clean for now. Good morning, it's the next day. I just got dressed for clinic. I gotta put up my hair, but I don't like to have my hair tied when I'm driving. Then I'll do morning clinic, then I have the afternoon off, so I can do some extra chores and just finish packing before I leave tomorrow. I just got to work. I am so tired this morning, but I'm gonna push through. It's gonna be great. We have a little gym in the resident hub with a couple of Peloton stuff and weights, so I'm gonna go for a small little workout before I leave today. I actually came to Trader Joe's because I forgot I was supposed to do some grocery shopping things. I'm leaving this weekend, but my partner is on medicine, so it's going to be a little difficult for him to get to the grocery store. So I got just some easy things like sandwiches, some microwave stuff, so that he'll be able to survive without me for a couple days. This is why you don't go to Trader Joe's hungry, because I saw these shrimp chips. Pretty flavorful, like a little bit on the sweet side, but a lot more flavorful than I expected. And then I also tried a sample of their patio chips, and I got that too. And I'm like literally leaving tomorrow, and then I got all these chips, and I guess they'll just be waiting for me to eat when I come back. But I got a bunch of sandwich things. I think I'm gonna bring out the panini press tonight and then have it with some tomato soup, and I think that would be a really, really good dinner. Last dinner before I leave for a couple days. I'm so excited to move because I used to have a really big kitchen in my old apartment, and then now this kitchen is super tiny, and I love cooking, but man, small kitchens definitely have their struggles. But next year when I move, I get to have a big kitchen again, so I'm really, really excited. The next thing I'm gonna do is my nails, because I tried to do like a jelly nail color-ish, and they're looking kind of janky because I did them over a week ago. So I'm gonna try to do a different kind of lighter color today. All done. They're not perfect, but no one's gonna look this close, so it doesn't really matter.